This is Alberta Hemsley of Withrow International High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today we're going to find the volume of an irregular object using an overflow. There are some objects which are irregular and cannot be measured with a ruler, and they're too large for any cylinder. The first thing to do is to overfill the overflow can, and the extra water will flow outside into a container where we'll collect it. We will throw away the water that's in this container. We won't need it. Our collection container is now empty. Slowly and carefully, we're going to introduce our object into the overflow can. Do it slowly. Don't have the water overflow. Be sure not to splash any of the water around. Carefully lower the object into the water. Don't put your fingers in the container, and don't drop the object until the very last moment. We will now pour the water from the collection container into a graduate cylinder, and that will be the volume of our irregular object. There are 10 lines between the 50 and the 60, so each line is 1. Halfway up, there's a 5. 3 lines above the 5, we see the meniscus of the water. The level of the meniscus is about halfway between the 58 and the 59. We read to the bottom of the meniscus. The volume of our first object is 58.5. Our next object to find the volume of is this bottle of creamy style horseradish. It's too big for any cylinder, and it would be difficult to measure with any kind of ruler. Again, we overfill the overflow can and then empty out the extra water. Very slowly, we will start to lower this jar into the water so that the water doesn't overflow. Slowly lower the jar so that it doesn't go over the top. The water in the can will overflow to the same volume as the jar that we just put into the overflow can. Allow the can to drip to its very last drip. Just as with the stone, we now start pouring the water into a cylinder to measure the volume of the water. But this time, there's more water than would fill the 100 milliliter cylinder. So when we get close to the top of the 100 milliliter cylinder, we stop pouring and we take a reading. This reading is between 86 and 87 milliliters. We'll call it 86.5. We'll take this 86.5 milliliters, or whatever it is, and we're going to pour it out into some other container or just put it in the sink. We fill the cylinder up again with the remaining water in the container from the overflow can. This one is between 80 and 81 milliliters. This is actually not a good reading because we're not reading it straight on. We can see the top of the meniscus. This view of the level of the water is better because we can't see the top or the bottom of the lens of the water. We read to the bottom of the meniscus and we get between 80 and 81. I get 80.1 milliliters. Now we will add the 2 volumes that we have found together to find the total volume of our horseradish jar. The first value was 86.5 milliliters plus 80.1 milliliters equals 166.6 milliliters. So our little jar of horseradish is now 166.6 milliliters of volume. And there you have it. Go have some good, clean fun finding volume with an overflow can. Enjoy!